Hey guys, right, so we're gonna have a look at fixing this cluster up. I kind of stalled on this part of when I did the roof job last year as to what I was going to do because I wanted to put a seat belt anchor point up here and here somewhere with like a doubler plate type setup. So I've sort of stalled on what I was actually going to do to finish this all up properly. So I've just been pondering over it over the last couple of weeks, because it's one of those things I sort of really need to get onto. So I kind of think I've formulated somewhat of a plan. Looks a bit messy up in here at the moment. There's a bit of you know, some backsides of welds and stuff, and then I seam sealed it, but I'm probably going to end up cleaning most of that off and cleaning it up a bit before I kind of do my finished pieces. So I'm going to change the design around a little bit from the old factory, and like some of these spot welds aren't actually connected up here anyway. So my plan is to carry on cutting down here, drill out these spot welds, take this piece completely off. I'll trim this right back up to here, drill out those spot welds, take this piece completely off, straighten out this mangled bent thing. I don't know why I didn't do that, straighten it before I welded this post back together. And what I'm thinking of doing is doing a small kind of little patch here that I can kind of create this form and recreate that little channel for this soft upholstery stuff to go into, and then I'll make up a doubler plate, 2 LVVTA specs for the seatbelt mount thing, which is basically some 3mm plate, but it has to be a certain size, and that'll go in behind another piece that I will make up and bring in and weld to all of this stuff with some plug welds and some butt welds and things like that, and hopefully that will be certified. We'll start off, I guess I gotta drill out and cut out all the pieces that I don't want in there anymore, and yeah, then I'll check back in, I guess, and get this all cleaned up, ready to start making and welding in some new bits. Very glary in here with this lead lamp up there. But yeah, so I'll get on to that. Alrighty, so first excuse me, classic bang, first stage underway. I've trimmed off all the extra stuff that was in the way, not very neatly, and just put a wee piece in here on both sides. That side's just had a bit of weld through each primer squirted on there. So that's where we're at for now. So I just got to make a little piece to emulate this little curvy channel there, which will probably stop it about there, possibly. And then I've got to figure out how to do the old doubler plate part. You know what I'm saying? The bit that the old seatbelt bolts go through into some doubler plate stuff. Might have to look up the old book that tells us the rules on that here in New Zealand. Get the sizes right. Some square meterage or millimeterage or something like that. But anyway, that's it for now. Hey guys, so it's a couple days later. Had to go to work and got distracted doing something else when I was working on this the other day. But it also gave me a chance to kind of plan out the next step, and I started sort of forming up some pieces that are going to be my sort of patches that'll go in and up on the inside, up in here, you know what I'm saying? But we were looking at just a wee bit earlier. Now, because I'm going to put diagonal belts into the 51, just because it's, I don't know, if you're going to be going this far, you might as well put a little bit of extra I don't know, supposed safety in there. Hopefully this is all going to be certifiable, because in New Zealand we have this low volume, the LVVTA, Low Volume Vehicle Transport Authority or some shit like that, and they have the whole raft of criteria that you have to meet to get something like this on the road. There's a big book, and in the big book it talks about seatbelt anchorages and stuff. Now we have to put like a double plate system in, sandwiched with this, will be sandwiched on either side. So we put a couple of plates with what do you call it, like a bolt sort of tack welded onto the back for the seatbelt anchor bolt to go through for the upper seatbelt mount. We have to do all of this on the floor as well. Now there's a few kind of weird kind of rules, but there must be some logic behind it. I'm not too sure. To sandwich these bolts, you can't just, these plates, you can't just kind of weld them on, even though the metal that they're going to be sandwiched onto is welded on. They have to be, they can be plug welded, I think, but normally they are like riveted right through. So all three pieces of steel have got a one rivet, has to go through them, and it can't just be any old normal rivet. It has to be a mono rivet, which is some kind of alien technology nickel alloy thing that they found on a space probe once. Not only that, but your doubler plates have to be of a certain size, material thickness, and which is 3mm. And I just got my mate Neil at Pure CNC here in Tauranga. He just quickly cut these out for me yesterday. In the past I've actually got him, I've sent him proper files through all the way, showing, you know, like with the rounded corners, because these corners have to be rounded and these edges have to be taken down a little bit as well, so there's no sharp corners and sharp edges on the double plates. Yeah, so this is kind of where we're at with these two pieces. These still need some finishing, of course. They're still just kind of making sure they're going to fit and work at this point. So we'll have a doubler plate on the outside with just a big hole, 10mm hole, 11mm hole I think it is. It has to be no more than 1mm larger than the diameter of the seatbelt anchor bolt. And then on the inside we'll have, let's see if I can do this one-handed, we'll have, that'll be sandwiched on the other side, and then we'll have a captive nut tacked onto the back of there, and it'll be riveted all the way through, so they will stay anchored like that, and they will go up in my, on the inside of the drip rail. I don't even know what it's called. But now I had a chap put a comment in the comments the other day. I can't remember his name, to be honest. I'll just have a quick look. He gave me some he gave me some advice on how to do this. I'm not sure where he's from, and that's his comment actually got me kind of thinking about how I was going to get back into this and do it, and I've been procrastinating about this but for yonks, mate, like forever. Oh, I can't remember what the chap's name was. It's not the guy that called me a dickhead. Don't know what's up with that. His comment didn't even get past old YouTube. Hang on, I'll just have a look and then I'll be back. Okay, found it. John Elwood. Thanks, John. Your comments and advice got me thinking about how to approach this, and actually made me drag the big book of how we have to do shit out and actually look at what the criteria is for getting it all legal beagle, as they say here in NZ. So yeah, can't quite do it how John suggested, but this hopefully will be legal, like for modification seatbelt thingamy-bob. If not, can't really see another way of doing it close to how our regulations say it has to be done. So I'm going to do it this way. If they don't like it, then I'll just do lap belts in there, because technically I can have just lap belts, but I thought if I'm going to be welding and cutting things into the air anyway, I might as well, like I said earlier, do this seatbelt thing. There we have it. So next step, just going to be doing some
modifying on these doubler plates and welding on the nuts onto the back and rounding off the corners and drilling all the holes and stuff like that, and then I'll start messing around with these little doodads again to make sure they fit up nice and tight before those things nice and tight before I sort of weld them home, and I'll chuck some etch primer and stuff like that in there. Also noticed a bit that I welded in the other day, I actually missed a bit, so I've got to get in there and catch that. And I've got some more power file belts, so I can get in there and clean up those welds and make them look a little bit prettier, even though they're going to be covered up hopefully forevermore. Got to have a bit of pride. Okay, right. Hey guys, just wanted to quickly interrupt your entertainment just now, just to say thanks to all the new subscribers who have come on lately. It's been a big upswing. Well, for my little channel, it's been a big upswing. Also, if you haven't subscribed at this point, it'd be really cool if you did so. Don't have to, but it'd be really cool if you did. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Don't forget, push the buttons, not hard. Yeah, get to see some more of this and this. Hey guys, welcome back. 2 or 3 days later from where I left off on this particular little project. Trying to do stuff during the week, it doesn't always pan out, but because the couch calls, yeah, sometimes just can't be bothered after work. But anyway, got some black etch onto my parts, just so like once I sandwich all these together, they're there's one missing. Oh, that's under there. So they've got some etch between the steel sort of thing, and on the back squared a bit of black etch on there. Where I welded in, obviously it's going to burn through a bit, can't help that, but I'll get in behind it later on with some cavity wax. I don't know what you call it. Used to be a product here called Tectal, but we don't use that anymore. Now we just use some kind of cavity wax to keep the moisture at bay and stuff. On the inside, just been back in here, it's got some weld through etch primer sort of drying at the moment. Welded this up the other day, but realised I'd missed a big section here I couldn't see very well. So the first pieces are now in there. I just had to put this little piece in here to rebuild that inner structure. Same on the other side. Now I think I've just got to mount up my doubler plates onto my patch repairs, do the final fit, make sure, because they're a little bit oversized at the moment, make sure they're nice and snug, and then get ready to kind of put them in, I think. And then maybe, yeah, once they're in, I think I'll give that little kind of folded up return where that channel thing goes, maybe a little bit of a tidy up. Or maybe I should do that first, I don't know, but we'll figure that out in a minute. Oh, back again. So, got all these trimmed up, ready to go in now. Holes drilled for my plug welds. Got to grind a little bit of that paint back off of there. And going to rivet these plates in. Now, just thought... Oh god, now that's not going to fit because there's a weld in the way. I have to grind a little bit of that weld off down there. Damn it, didn't think of that. Anyway, I'll do that, and then yeah, this is what it'll look like from the front. So it'll probably got light behind me. So let's have a look at it this way. So that's the front of the 51. That's the back. So now I put these mono rivet holes diagonal. I was going to just put them in the center, but then I was reading something in our hobby car manual about what do you call it, like the direction of pull sort of stuff. So I think this is what it's going to do, but I just noticed those are going to be real close to there. I wonder if I put just maybe a screw or something in the hole and rivet this outer plate on after I've welded all that on. That might be the best way to go, actual, that way I can weld and clean up along the bottom there. I'll do that. I won't rivet them on just yet. I'll rivet those on after I welded this bit in with that bit kind of fixed onto the back, just so I can, you know, back there somehow. Better make sure that's going to fit. Anyway, might have to change how I'm going to do that, but have a look. Alrighty, so it's all prepped up, ready to go. I've just ground up where my little plug welds are going to go around the edges and such. I'll show you how it's going to fit. How they are going to fit, I should say, hopefully. It's going to sit in there like that. And I've just put a couple of little screws in that nut in there, and I'll hopefully be able to sort of take these out and rivet it once it's all welded in there. I'll take one screw at a time, rivet one side, and then slide it up, put the bolt back in, lock it all together, line up all the other rivet and stuff like that, and rivet it all in place. Because I just didn't want to have the outside doubler plate too close to where I'm going to be welding these areas here, down across here, and the plug welds on both sides. Next question is, do I MIG weld it all, or do I have a crack at TIG welding it? Upside down TIG welding is not my forte. MIG welding is not much better, but I'll give it a shot, maybe. See ya. So, ready to go. I think I'll get some clamps and clamp all this in place, and do one side, and then endeavour to tackle the other side. Knee. Right, so got both of these sides welded in now. They look pretty rugged, but I'll give them all a bit of a clean up with the old power file and the flapper disc sort of thing, and then might squirt a little bit more each on there again before I stick the other doubler plate on. Maybe not gonna really make a whole lot of difference. It shouldn't get that much moisture in there anyway, really. Maybe. I mean, this car hopefully has seen the last of its parked outside days. Should be a sort of garage car from here on in, maybe. Hopefully. As long as I've still got a garage and I don't end up living in this. Anyway, so next up we'll get in there with the power file. This little sucker here, which chews through the belts like nobody's business on MIG welds. I ended up MIG welding it all, by the way. And then I'll get in there with a flapper disc and power file and kind of tidy it all up, make it a little bit more presentable. Probably should have moved between the two sides a bit more, spread some of the heat. Oh, the train. Spread some of the heat across both sides, but there's no kind of real panel warpage or anything. It's a nice rigid area, so nothing can get really warped out of shape once it's all tacked together and stuff, I reckon. Hopefully. We'll soon find out. We go to put the car back together and nothing fits, which is a high probability of that anyway. So right, I'm going to get into some grinding. I'll show you when I'm finished. You guys don't want to watch me grinding for hours on end. Oh, missed a bit. I'll grind it back and fill in any pinholes that I missed. Alrighty, so let's have a look. Oh, there it goes. So it's all ground back. Cleaned up all my SCBY welds to a degree, and now Gotta give it a, might squirt a little bit of black etch and underneath where the doubler plate goes and let that dry off, and then I might as well etch the whole thing actually. And then I'll endeavour to try and get those doubler plates on without dropping them down on the inside, because if I do that I'm pretty well screwed and I'll have to cut them open again and do that again. Hopefully not though. That's if my plan works, which I'm pretty kind of maybe certain that it might work, we should be alright. Thinking putting the, like undoing this sort of lower screw or this one here and getting the first hole kind of in place with the rivet in there, and just kind of give the rivet gun a couple of squeezes so it's not tight, but then take this and this out, bring it, swing that up, and that'll hold it in place. And then if I can get this one lined up again, then I can get the second rivet in, tighten that up, hold it in place, rivet, home, done, seatbelt, anchors, done, ski. Not really centered above the pillar, but that was kind of the best place to put them in with the doubler plate. But that's okay, because yeah, that's okay, I reckon. Well, I'll crouch down here like a little crouchy thing. Just got to put this doubler plate on, and that's this little task complete. She's a bit snug. Might have moved somewhat, but just open her up just a little. Yep. Scratched my shiny new paint ready. My plan, you see. Let's give it a little bit of a squeeze just to stop it falling out, and then I can take the big nut out, big bolt, and swing it down, take the other screw out, line up all the holes for the inner plate falls inside. And scratch my neck. Find my screwdriver. Looking pretty promising. So much metal filings in here now that everything's magnetized and it's covered in metal filings. So once I finish this, it might be clean up time in the old garage here. Just actually that's gonna pinch this up tight. a little bit for now. There we have it, guys. Got my top anchor mount thingy bobs into the Area 51 and finally finished the inner structure of the B pillar. Yeah, what a little mission that was. Made a huge mess. Got tools all over the place and grinding dust and sawdust and this yellow shit that's falling out of these seats. It's like yellow snow. Don't get snow around here, but yeah, that's that little job done. Another little thing off the metaphorical list. Only took me 1.5 years, and big thanks to, oh God, I think the guy's name was Tom, mentioned him earlier, chap who suggested ways of doing this. Couldn't do it the way he suggested because of our regulations and stuff here in New Zealand, but you did get me thinking about it and looking at it again to get this done. So it's done now. Hopefully it's acceptable for our low volume certification process. Should be. I followed the book that they've got, which is the construction car manual, which is like a whole lot of grey areas. But yeah, so there we have it. Got some black etch primer on there and sealed it all up. Hopefully that's all good to go. Have to document it with photographs to present to the certifier to show what I've done on the inside as well. So got all those photos. Well, I forgot to take a couple, but I can take screenshots from some of the video stuff I did as well, so choice. Big thanks again to all the sort of positive feedback and all the new subscribers. We had a big upswing this week, well, about 70, which is a huge upswing for my little channel. But yeah, but if you've got something constructive to say down below, feedback, or if you've got any questions down below as well. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. There's buttons all over the joint on YouTube. You should have figured it out by now. Mind you, it took me a while. And if you want to get notifications, hit the little bell. There's a little bell thing it'll send you emails and get you little alerts. Oh, my radiator arrived yesterday too, so I'll have to have a look at that. It was quite quick. Well, I'm gonna call that a video done, I think. Unless you would like to see me just cleaning up and putting tools away and vacuuming and stuff, but that'd just be a little bit weird, to be fair. So next time, take it easy and peace. So I don't know what I'm going to do next, but we'll find something. So peace again. So